If you would like to see more, please consider checking out my website where I sell my handmade paints and also some artwork and prints. I will leave a link to my website down in the description bar below. This is a website that I set up to showcase my artwork and sell a few things. You can also view my gallery on there too. Alternatively, you can also check me out on Patreon, where you can get a few extra bits, including monthly dot card rewards of my handmade watercolours and commercial brands. Again, I will leave the link down in the description bar below if you would like to consider checking that out. Hello everybody and welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing a review of some handmade watercolours. These are Khannah's Honey Hues, made by Khannah. This is her business card. We did do an art supply swap this year together, so we sent each other some art supplies to try out. She very kindly sent me some Aquarius Roman small paints and some Renaissance paints. I ordered some small metal pans from her web store on her Etsy shop, along with some dot cards. She also sent me a dot card for free too, as a sampler. She recommends putting the paints in the freezer for 10 minutes before opening to make it a little bit easier, because these paints are made with honey and they are a little bit soft and sticky. I quite like paint like this, but not everybody does. So here is a close-up of the pans. They are quite small in general, these pans, but there's quite a bit of paint in them, so they're really nice. Here's a comparison to a normal half pan. And here is the dot card sample, and that's of Dioxazine Violet. And these are some shimmer paints that she's also made. The palette colours I got from Khannah were Cerulean Blue and YLN Blue. That's a really rare blue that's really expensive to make, so I feel excited to be able to try it out. It's a very expensive pigment and it's not really very widely available. It's only available from Khannah, and I've not seen another paint maker make it yet so far. Because these pans were a bit small, I did have a bit of a difficulty opening them as they were a little bit fiddly. So onto the swatching. I'm going to be swatching them out on cold pressed watercolour paper, which is Bockingford from St Cuthbert's Mill here in the UK, so it's a really nice paper. And sorry, I'm going to do them a little bit out of order. I think this is the correct names for each of the paints. They were labelled on the Etsy listing but not on the dot card, so I'm a little bit unsure when it comes to the dot card. I'm going to swatch them out as I always do, painting a concentrated swatch of paint at the top of the square and blending it out with water. This has an advantage of you being able to see how the paint behaves with water, and you'll be able to see what the paint looks like concentrated and thinned out. So Khannah is relatively new to the paint making game. I believe she's only been making paints this year, so she's quite new to it, and so far all of her paints are really good and really high quality. She makes a range of paints from convenience mixed hues to mica paints to single pigment paints. Here I have some single pigment paints and some mica paints. The colours that I purchased from her were rose gold, pelagic, citrine, moonwake, spoondrift, sequoia, dioxazine, which was sent to me as a gift in dot card form as a sample, YLNM blue, and cerulean blue. The dioxazine, the YLNM blue, and the cerulean blue are all single pigment. The cerulean blue is PB35 and the dioxazine is PB23. Due to all the paints containing quite a bit of honey, they did re-wet really nicely and had a really nice flow and colour to them on the page. Now you did hear me correctly, I did say that she makes a YLNM blue. For those of you who do not know, YLNM blue is a recent discovery in the pigment world, and it's a newly discovered blue pigment. It's very rare and very expensive. For a mere 10 grams of this paint pigment, it's over €40, so not cheap. And of course the paint from Khannah for that colour was obviously not going to be economical either. It's not a cheap colour to buy because it's not a cheap colour to get your hands on the pigment. It's very difficult, well, not difficult to get your hands on the pigment, but it's not really a common colour. No commercial brand makes it so far. YLNM blue is supposed to be a very deep dark blue and is supposed to be heavily granulating, one of the most granulating pigments that you can get. So I can't wait to test to see if it is as granulating as it should be. All the other colours of course are really nice. I really do quite like the Pelagic and the Sequoia. They're both really nice colours, and of course they are mica, and we're going to have a look at the sparkle later on once they've dried. I also really enjoyed this cerulean blue. I think so far it's one of my favourite cerulean blues I've tried. I think this might actually be my favourite colour of all the ones that I have here from Khannah. So now on to the all famous YLNM blue. And it's going down, and I hate to say it, but I'm a tiny little bit disappointed in this pigment. Not in the paint itself, the paint is really nice, but I'm struggling here to find what's so magical about this paint. To me, it's just like a ultramarine or cobalt blue deep. I don't find it overly heavily granulating. I find that there are some iron oxides out there, and as well genuine manganese blue that granulates a lot more heavily than what this blue seems to be doing at the moment. The blue is coming across as a really nice deep dark saturated blue, and it is a nice blue, I can't deny it. However, it's a very expensive pigment and I don't know whether it's worth its bang for its buck. I am considering getting some of the pigment myself to mould, to try out and see what it's like to mould. I might just get a small 10 grams of it and see how it behaves. Now, however, back to Khannah's paints. Her paints are really nice and I'm enjoying swatching them out here. And I can't wait to maybe do a little painting with the cerulean blue. That cerulean blue is really lovely, it's really nice. I can definitely recommend that colour to you. Along with those few mica colours that I mentioned were really nice too. And it's definitely worth picking up some of the YLNM blue if she has it in stock to try it if you're a pigment nerd like myself, because it is obviously a new blue and something a little bit different. There were no apparent issues or faults or problems with Khannah's paints in this first test of her colours. They're all really nice, they all re-wet really well, they go down really nicely on the paper, really nice and smooth, and they behave really nicely when they are mixed with water. They have a really nice flow to them. I'm also really enjoying the consistency that the honey is bringing to the paints. The paints are all really creamy and really nice. And you can see here now that they've dried, there's not a drying shift much at all to any of these paints. They're all drying really nice and bright and nice and colourful. Just what we want in our paints. And there is definitely some granulation to that YLNM blue there. It does granulate, and it does granulate quite nicely, but again I've seen other pigments granulate just as much, if not more, than this colour. I did do some layering with that blue and it does layer very nicely, as all of Khannah's paints seem to do. I will leave links down in the description bar to Katie Hannah's pages and of course her Etsy shop where she sells all of her paints. But I'm really impressed so far with the colours that she's made and that I've tried. They're all really nice. I really recommend you to try out these colours. They're really, really beautiful and they are really unique. It's really good to support artists who make their own things, such as paint. It's really helpful. And it's just really a nice thing to do. I can definitely recommend doing so. And it's also extra nice to support somebody who's a bit more local to me, as I don't really often see very many people making paint over here in the UK. So guys, let me know down in the comments what you think. Have you tried her paints before? If not, you really should. But if you have tried them, do let me know what you think of them. And if you're interested, and if your interest has been piqued by this YLNM blue. Also, please do let me know in the comments if there's any of these colours that you are particularly liking the look of. I know I definitely like the cerulean and the sequoia. It's a really nice colour. So thank you so much to Katie Hannah for sending me these paints. It's really nice I got to try them and I'm really looking forward to trying more of her paints. So I really hope you guys liked this video. And if you enjoyed it, please do consider hitting the thumbs up button and subscribing if you've not done so already. And if you want to see more of me, please do consider checking out more of my videos. So thank you guys so much for watching and take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.